Can you imagine how upset you would be if you tried to cash your paycheck but were turned away because thousands of your company's payroll checks have been stolen? Well, that's exactly what's happening to some Cleveland RTA workers. They're not happy. News 5 investigator Joe Paganak is on the case tonight. And Joe, we're talking more than 8,000 of these stolen payroll checks are still out there.
Danita, shockingly, yes, and now 15 people have been indicted for forgery, grand theft, and more for allegedly cashing those checks.
And real victims here are the RTA workers who just want to take their paycheck.
Cuyahoga County Assistant Prosecutor Edward Bridle says there are more than 8,000 stolen blank RTA payroll checks like this one out there somewhere. And it's such a problem. When RTA employees try to cash real payroll checks at some Cleveland businesses, workers can't get their funds.
They're just trying to cash their check for the money that they've worked hard to earn. They're being turned away.
Daly Ann Balfour, Brandon Charles, Deandra Terrell, Rodney Williams, and 11 others now indicted on multiple felony counts for allegedly cashing tens of thousands of dollars in bogus RTA payroll checks.
They are typing in the information of the person who they have recruited to go cash the check, and they're driving that person around.
Prosecutors say 8,800 of the blank RTA payroll checks ended up in the wrong hands due to a bad zip code, and a UPS driver who actually tried to deliver the checks here to this vacant lot on East 146th Street in Cleveland.
So we were never able to identify an answer as to how or why that address was switched or why it came up the way it did.
And prosecutors are concerned this stolen RTA payroll check cashing catastrophe could continue.
There could be multiple people who hold these blank checks right now out on the street. It may be a ring,
but police will be watching.
If you try to cash a check and you're not an RTA employee and you have one of these stolen checks, you're going to get caught.
An RTA responded to our story saying it now has internal controls in place to avoid financial losses. If convicted, those involved could face up to 3 years in jail. Reporting live here in Cleveland, I'm News 5 investigator Joe Paganakis.